Welcome back to the Conscious Salon Podcast, the Motherhood series, and also our final episode. I have a very, very, very high maintenance guest sitting across from me.
Yep.
She is a bad bitch. She is a business owner of two incredible, purposeful, meaningful, conscious businesses. She is the mum of a beautiful 12-year-old stepdaughter and also a little 5-month-old baby.
Mm-hmm.
And she also happens to be one of the most incredibly divine human beings. My favorite person. My muse, if you will.
Don't you're mine. So. We're both looking at each other. Thank you.
And Tess, obviously it was natural for us to finish the series with you because you have most recently been through motherhood.
Yeah.
And we've had all of these incredible women in our industry sharing their stories, their difficulties, their challenges, the things that they would do differently. And you have also been the proof in the pudding in terms of what we do with our clients at the Conscious Salon when they're preparing for motherhood. And I believe that you are a definition of a woman who can have it all and who can be present as a mum and have the thriving businesses and have a maternity leave. But I wanted to mic you up today to ask you some questions. Are you ready?
Shoot, love it. I like that. I'm like, can I have it all? Or am I just a brat?
You're a brat.
I'm both.
How would you describe your journey into motherhood? Obviously, like being Talia's stepmom was your first journey into motherhood, but then having River, how would you describe that and your mat leave?
Yeah, that's a big question. I think they're all really different and unique. I think with like when I say all, I have Solly in that too because I feel like I've been on a path in a way to getting to this point with, you know, the baby that I birthed, my son. I feel that I had these little moments and experiences firsthand before that to really allow me to, I feel like I almost got like quite a few practices and I learned so much prior that it was pretty easy and seamless. You know, and I think that was the gift of, you know, I've been in Talia's life since she was 5 or 6 years old. And, you know, that wasn't really, but it is different as a step parent and even parenting. You know, she's with us 50% of the time. So half the week she's with us, half the week she's with her mum. And then we alternate Saturdays. So that's also a different experience of parenting. And parenting, you know, a young kid but not a baby. And then getting the opportunity with Solly and learning, you know, being in that newborn stage and that privilege of you know, I got to come in and be your carer because at the time, Nikki, you needed some time to heal. You had a recovery post-birth and Pete had broken his leg and I got clearance. We got
the dog was in charge. It was ridiculous.
I got because it was in the thick of COVID where it was really heavy with restriction and I got was it medical clearance or whatever? I got the papers to say that I could go. I had to get the CPR test and all of the things and then I was like virtually like police escorted up to your house. But I got to go and live with you for
PCR,
the first.
by the way, not CPR.
Oh my God.
CPR's
Wow,
when you bring
triggering.
someone
Oh my
back.
God. We'll need to edit that heavily. PCR, having the PCR test. And yeah, I got to really be in it with you for the first, I think, 3 weeks while Pete's leg was healing. And that was such that's such a unique experience again that I actually got to like live in that with you and get that experience of, I don't think I'd ever held a baby that little before. I remember when I walked into your home and he was in his, I've got one. What are they called?
Cage, bassinet.
Yeah, the bassinet. My God. He was in his bassinet and you said to me, like, are you going to pick him up? And I was like, oh, I'm so nervous to even hold him. But I felt like I got all these experiences beforehand. So now when it came to the time when I got to, you know, have my turn of birthing and a newborn of my own, and I feel like that gave me so much it just made it really easy. Like it has felt, of course there's challenging moments, but I feel like I've been gifted so much prior experience.
I think it felt easy because you are so maternal. Like it comes so naturally to you to be a mum and to care for other people. You're maternal to like our team, to our family, to everyone around you, to Missy. Like you're so maternal though. I think it comes naturally to you because of that maternal instinct that you have.
Yeah, so how did I forget to mention my firstborn, Missy, my fur baby?
What about your mat leave? Talk us through that.
I mean, and I know that this will, you really consciously created that. I know how hard and I'm so grateful for how hard you worked and to make sure that I had a different experience. I think with how much we had such polar opposites of experiences. So for me, again, and it's not by accident, like you're such an intentional person and such a conscious person and you always want to improve and do that. That's one of the things I love about you. It's always wanting to improve and change and be better and do better. And so I feel like I've gotten potentially the experience that you should have had, which the depth of gratitude and like deep gratitude I have for that is enormous. Like I wish I could do that for you. You certainly don't want to reverse Pete's vasectomy.
No, but I just want to share, like a few weeks ago we had a really candid conversation. I think this is really important. We had a candid conversation about the fact that you were saying that you, like, basically I said you showed up for me so much physically in terms of looking after the baby, things like that. When you went on leave, my priority was like, oh, I'm going to make sure the businesses are sorted so that you can be really present. I think I gave you what I was looking for and you gave me what you were looking for. So it's almost like we showed up for each other neither are right or wrong, but the thing that I love what you did for me and I know you love what I did for you. And we almost served each other as if like it was us wanting what we would have wanted.
And I think it's been a massive lesson for me because I do, I speak about this openly. We talked about this morning in our team meeting with our girls. I am someone that really struggles to be present. So to have a present maternity leave without other pressures or things going on, and I can work at my own leisure and how I want to work, and I am working how I want to work. That's also been really different as well because I kind of think about how much of my life have I had so unconscious or like so not aware, so not present. And there's a fair bit there. Being a mum has really taught me to be in the moment and like be here now, constantly having that going over my head. If I'm thinking I need to get on my computer or something and my son is, crying or wanting to be held. I remember like at the start I would be like, oh, I just need him to go down so I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no, just hold him and do that later because that doesn't matter. This does because he's only going to be this small and need this much of me for such a small period. I don't want to take that for granted.
Yeah, wow. So you've been out of the salon now, like you haven't worked on a client for 7 months and you've been fully out of the salon, like not going in, not communicating with the team unless it was, hey, how you going, that sort of thing. 7 months out of the salon, 5 months without having to do anything. Was there any guilt that came up for you with that in terms of not actually stepping into the salon?
Guilt, no. No, I would say that. I haven't felt guilt because I worked, day in, day. I gave my whole heart and soul to our salon prior. I would say that I truly gave myself to the salon day in and day out. I think a lot of the time when I think of the archetype of what I don't want for the clients that we work with, I think of that version of me and I think of that version of you. I know that we both have put, we put a lot of the time our business before everything else, and that also comes at a heavy cost. So I definitely didn't have any guilt from stepping out of the salon because I know that I deserve this and I'm worthy of this, and I know that I'm no longer needed in there the way that I wouldn't even say I once was, the way I thought I was needed in there. But I did experience, and I still experience, you know, and I've shared with this openly with the team, it's the loss of identity and it's the loss of impact and it's the loss of that like social interaction, and the being a stay-at-home mum is phenomenal, but it can be very lonely. It can be very isolating. It can be very sometimes I can go, you know, hours without speaking to anyone. Except, and you know, well, I speak with River, but he's not much chat. He just often falls asleep halfway through, or will cry, and you know. But with that, it can be quite isolating. And I don't think I was ever prepared for that. And I know that even though, you know, we've spoken about this a lot, I had this intention and idea of what it was going to look like, and I knew I was going to be a stay-at-home mum. When I actually became a stay-at-home mum, I was like, oh, fuck, this is kind of dull. Like, or this is, you know, I didn't realize that actually no one was going to be here, or that I wasn't going to have like, I had so many people around me every day in, day out, and like so much, I would be so drained. I'd get home and not speak for hours on end. Whereas now, you know, Mick's walking through the door and I'm like, so like, you know, what happened at work?
What'd you have for lunch?
Yeah. What do you have next? And like, you know, what's happening with this person and that person? Because I was so like starved of it, and I couldn't. That was such a loss of identity and such a change, and just that question of like, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? Am I still having impact? That was hard. That was really like confusing, and yeah, I've had to really work through that, like mindset stuff, inner critic coming out straight away of just, you know, because I wasn't having that, you know, clients telling me how much they were loving things, or, you know, team, like, I'm so grateful for this, or like, you know, can you help me with that? I suddenly only had a human that was depending on me who can't communicate whether it's good or bad or otherwise. I just assume that, you know, it's pretty much when you have a newborn, you're keeping them alive and keeping them happy.
Really?
But you don't really get that, you know. I can tell when I'm with Solly and we're having fun together, he can tell me, I love when we do X, Y, and Z. Talia, the same thing. Like I get feedback from those littles. River can't communicate with me at all. And you know, at that point, he also doesn't express anything. You know, when you're trying to make him laugh and smile and they just stare at you. So for me, I was like, I'm not having impact. That was a huge identity change for me. So it wasn't guilt, but there was definitely a shitload of identity. And like, I guess that would then play into like worthiness, impact, you know, change comes up.
Absolutely. What did becoming a mum teach you about control?
To get over it pretty much, and I'm the control queen. I feel like control definitions are made on like my personality type. It made me realize that I have none. The second I was pregnant, I realized that I tried for so long to get pregnant, and then when it happened, you just have no control. You know, have no control of when it happens. I mean, kind of, you do, but realistically, like not that much. And then when it happens, you can't control how it's going to go. Nothing is, like, it's the ultimate surrender, being pregnant, birthing, parenting. And you can realize that you can have all these preconceived ideas of how it's going to look and how you're going to feel and like how it's all going to play out. At the end of the day, when I gave birth, it's different to what I envisioned. I envisioned me giving birth at home in my, you know, beautiful sanctuary that I have of, you know, one of my yoga room. That sounds so obnoxious. It's not. It's my gym, but like it's very sacred and beautiful. I was going to be birthing in a pool there. And realistically, I was, and, you know, absolutely natural and all of those things. And what happened was I had gestational diabetes. I had to be induced. The induction went from like left to right. I was on and off birthing for, I think, 3 or 4 days. I had every pain relief that you could think of. My son was, what was it? I always forget the.
It's like where the
one where
spines are facing. It's supposed to be excruciatingly painful.
Oh, what?
And Tess has the highest pain tolerance of anyone I've ever known. And I was like, guys, she's not okay if she's complaining.
Yeah, you did make me laugh at that. I do remember Nikki saying to me, like, when the pillar's going down, we don't
I was like, what the fuck are we meant to do? If you're in pain, like, I was like, help.
And it was, but I'm so grateful for it. But my point is, it was so different. I thought it was going to be so easy, even down to the fact that I was convinced I was having a daughter. Like and none of it is in my control. It is all, and I'm so grateful for my son. But I'm saying like I had this controlled version of what every aspect of my life was going to look like, and none of it looked the way that it does. So what I've realized from becoming a parent is stop trying to control the shit that you can't. Like, I don't know what it was. It was something I can't work out if it was giving me power, if it was making me feel safe. But realistically, surrender and just being adaptable and I'm still learning this, going with the ebbs and flows and the changes that are thrown at us. Just you don't have to be good with them, but just allow them, because that is also potentially where growth, and like I feel with the experience of that, I'm now not as twisted up about everything, and I can adapt more, except when someone sits in my seat. I don't like that.
You don't like that? That's
no,
true.
I do. I've got my spots. I like to sit in them, but outside of that, I can go with it, and it will be okay. And like, different to what I was expecting doesn't mean it's going to be disastrous. It's going with it, and yeah, because there's nothing you can do anyway. You just got to go with it.
Wow. Tess, I want to ask you one final question. What would you say to a woman who's sitting listening right now, pregnant, thinking, I have to go back to my salon 2 minutes after having a baby, and they think that it's going to look a certain way? What would you say to that woman?
I would say don't, because if you are, it will all be okay. I think at the end of the day, and I had to say this to myself a lot, it's okay to step back. Like, we don't put this pressure on other people. When we hear that people, whether they're in our communities, in our teams, in our families, friends, whoever it is, when they're sharing that they're going to be expecting a baby and they're going to be going on maternity leave, I think the average expectation is like a year. I think 9 to 12 months is usual. Take that time. Your business does not need you in the way that you think it does. And if you truly believe that to be true, then you need to make really serious changes for your business to operate without you in it. Because my salon operates better with me not in it, because I'm needed somewhere else now. And I think that's really important for so many of the I think it's really important for us to start getting our head around that and start realizing that it goes back to control. You don't have to strangle it the way that you think that you do. And if you release the pressure and allow other people to step forward or support you or take over, it could actually be really incredible. And what will matter, the one thing that will really need you, is your baby. That will really need you. Much more than what the salon will, or squeezing in that client or putting the pressure. If it feels good and you're feeling in flow, I think back to like our conversation with Sheridan, she really wanted to go back to work after 3 weeks. Go with what feels right. If you want to be back there really quickly, then do that. But if you are not feeling ready and you have that, like, you can feel yourself feeling really, there was a trend not long ago on social media with people posting, it's probably still a trend, like how sad they were about returning to work and like crying on the last day of being with their baby. If it feels like that and you're feeling that daunted, you need to make some change. You need to do things differently. And I think when money becomes the factor of why people are doing that, you need to start working out how you can get money without like doing that thing that's making you feel that sad or depressed about. There's that thing of Alan Watts, like, do what you love and forget the money, because the money will come. And I think that's really important. So if your body is telling you, I need to be here longer with my child, I'm not ready to do that, you need to listen to it and not ignore it. Your body is always communicating with you. So don't push it down and hope it gets better and just, this is the expectation. Listen to what is coming up and follow it through, because absolutely your child will need you 10 times more than you think your business does.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, Tess. I think you've mapped and path the way to show women what's possible. I'm so grateful that you're doing this so that we can actually show that we walk the walk and don't just say, yeah, you can have it all, because you've literally done that over the past 12 months to show that you can build empires with babies on your hips. You can grow babies and have your biggest years in business while you're on mat leave. Like you can do that. You've shown us that. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, well,
thank you guys so much for listening to the Motherhood series.
How special.
On the Conscious Salon Podcast.
Yeah.
We love you all.
We do. Love you guys. Stay conscious.